Hello, everybody. So we're gonna go ahead and try to do a quest today. That's gonna be our modus operandi for the near future, at least. Just log in, do a quest, uh, you know, see how that goes. So 25 lands is just really a grind. Just a matter of playing cards that are gonna let you land lands. But I think in this case, uh, we should go with then something that makes use out of those lands. So how about Felidar Retreat, just for funsies? Now we're just on the play queue. At some point I'll do the ladder grind, but for right now, I'm really just looking to find my voice. Try to see what people want and have a fun time doing it. I guess while we're waiting for this to load up, we can tell you a little bit about myself. So, my name is Hector. I've been playing Magic for a long time, since Ice Age specifically. Um, that I haven't been playing the whole time. I walked away the way a lot of Magic players did during Kamigawa block. Uh, couldn't stick with it, but I came back during the first Zendikar block, and Innistrad kept me there for sure, which is a really good set. So, okay, what have we got here? So we've got Double Goose, Inscription, and the Root Grazer. So the purpose of this deck, obviously, is to take advantage of the landfall triggers. We don't have a payoff card yet, but we're going to keep it just because we've got Inscription to hopefully cover some sins. And of course, being able to turn one Goose is always a good thing. So here we go. Green-black. At least it's not rogues. I can't say I've ran into a lot of that in the format right now, so I'm not 100% sure what exactly we're facing off against. Well, that's different. Been having some connectivity issues recently, so I'm assuming that's what that's about. Alright, and we're gonna, since it's green-black, we're not gonna get aggressive. I was thinking about using the Goose to play another Goose, but I'm fully expecting some kind of removal to come down for the Root Grazer. And so I think what I really want to do is just get value out of the Goose that I have. Hello. Yeah, no, sorry, it's not really me, it's the server. Server being super slow. Well, there goes the Inscription and any action that our hand actually had. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and Temple. Eventually. There we go. We're definitely going to scry that away. Alright, and we are going to go ahead and beat with the Root Grazer. Ah, this is frustrating. Yeah, I know. Well, I can't even mute because the stupid thing's taking forever. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play the other Goose eventually. There we go. Alright, things are moving along. And we're going to end the turn. Elspeth's Nightmare doesn't really do anything to us right now, and it's probably going to kill the Root Grazer, which is unfortunate, but it's also, like, not a huge deal. We're just going to generate some value with Gilded Goose over the next couple of turns, most likely. I mean, all we really care about right now is playing our land drops. Hey, look, back up. Alright. So we'll go ahead and play the land that he knows about. Eventually. God, what is wrong with this? Alright. And we'll just go ahead. Is it worth throwing it out there? I mean, I don't have any other action. You can't steal it with the Nightmare. But I don't necessarily want to just make it vulnerable. I can double food here. But is there any value to that, since I've already got 2 food? I'm going to go ahead and run it out there. Yep, you get the pathway. Same thing that was there before. Tap land. Not really sure yet what he's going to do. He's probably playing a very similar deck to what I was running yesterday, the creature kill deck. Hand disruption's not terrible. Soul Shatter sacrifices creature, highest mana cost. Yep, okay, you got it. You have successfully forced me to sacrifice a Rickraiser. It's actually your go, but nice try. Alright, I guess it's time for our little surprise. There's kind of a token sub-theme in here. So now I have a 3/5 kitty with lifelink and a couple of tokens. One attacker. Well, that is a card. He did just play that, so if he killed what's the chances he's got a second one? Not that it really matters. You just gotta start getting some value. Go ahead and throw that out there. Necromentia. Curious what he names here. Probably the Retreat, which is the smart play. Yep, he gets to steal my retreats. And I still have other win conditions in here, obviously. Hopefully I'll draw one, but losing my best one is definitely kind of painful. But really, I just want to start ripping lands off the top. Start doubling my Scute Swarm. ASAP. Yep. All the answers. Gonna get in with the insect. Alright, I don't know what he actually is going to use as a finisher, what kind of creature he's got. on the odd chance it's like a Plukernos or something, the apparition's gonna be able to get it. I just really don't see any value in running it out as a 2/2 right now. I've got a 1/1 that's beating down, and it's likely not going to survive that long, but, you know, it did eat a duress, so not terrible. See, it ate an agonizing remorse. I don't know if there's something better it could be done, but it dealt 1 damage. Yeah, it just feels like I could have played this game a lot better. Kind of a questionable keep. But at the end of it, I've still got stuff on the board, and he does not. He's got 1 card in hand. Well, this is a repeat of the last couple turns. Love the shuffler. 1 attacker. Here we go. And another threat. And now if I do top deck something, anything, I can start, he had the Heartless Act. Okay, that's fine. He's still top decking. I still have a 1/1 that will kill him eventually. I could top deck an Amaria's Call, which wouldn't be great. What could I top deck that actually helps? Cub Warden would be nice. I mean, any of my action would be great, obviously. Yeah, see, I kind of like that. That's pretty good. I don't know if this guy's actually going to have anything that I can fight. But if he doesn't, I think I'm going to end step the counters onto the goose, or onto the insect. Inscription being instant speed makes it a much better card than it would be otherwise. That seems a little self-explanatory, but like perhaps a tautology. But you know, it's kind of one of those things where the scalability of it seems, you know, really big, like because of the variability of it. You know, the options that you have available to you at instant speed. Like fights that aren't instant speed are a lot worse, relatively speaking. So, for example, 3 damage at sorcery speed, like a lightning strike that's sorcery speed, volcanic hammer, whatever you want to call it, is not as, it's obviously worse than a lightning strike that's at instant speed, but at the same time, it's not completely useless. It's it does what it does. Now, fight effects require you to have a much more involved setup. You've got to have your own creature that can survive the fight, or at least kill your opponent's creature. So sorcery speed there kind of leads you to being blown out more often, whereas instant speed fights do let you make use of the setup a lot better. It's a lot safer, and that safety can make a lot of difference. Should I tell this guy it's his go? Let's go for it. The life gain obviously is going to be relevant. We're going to divide our threats up so that even if he kills our goose, we still got our 1/1. Alright, Field of Ruin's not particularly relevant. We're going to hold on to it in case we get... we need the landfall effect. And now that Goose has counters, it's no longer vulnerable to Heartless Act, although it can be turned into a 0-2, which isn't the worst. Alright, take another damage, sure. Four-turn clock. Heroic Intervention, turn late. Alright. Now, Heroic Intervention is going to let us protect our creature from his next removal spell, most likely, depending on what it is. But since he played a land, he's probably got a land in his hand, so not worried about that. We got an extra land here. Again, I really don't feel any reason at this point to run it out. There's not really anything besides Maria's Call in the deck that wants that many lands in the field. But maybe that is a reason to play it out. So we'll go ahead and we'll drop it as a white source to get it up there. And then that way, if I do top deck the Emeria, I can play the Field of Ruin to actually cast it. So there's no reason to hold on to it, really. Now the funny thing is the worst thing my opponent could play for me right now is a blocker, and I don't think their deck actually has any. They're playing some kind of weird no-win condition green-black, I don't know. Maybe they're just getting really unlucky with what they drew, but main deck Necromentia makes it seem like they're just trying to hate out whatever it is you're trying to do. Burning through his timeouts. I have a feeling he thinks he's punishing me for my slow play earlier, and by slow play, I mean the server took forever to register my moves. It's okay. He's got a limited amount of time that he can waste, and he is allowed to waste as much as he wants. It's not going to affect the outcome of this game, which in like a turn is going to be him losing to an insect. Alright. He ran out of time, so now he's just going to pass through his turn. Works for me. Hey. That's a card. Alright, so no reason to do this ahead of time. We're going to go ahead and we are going to get in there. Put him to 1. We're going to go ahead and drop this. We're going to play a land. We're going to activate this Field of Ruin. Blow up his temple. He's going to drag out the clock because he doesn't want to admit he lost. Gonna give Neil good game. Sorry, he's salty. Go for that plains. Trigger, trigger. Boom, boom. End the turn. He gets to waste some time, but this game's over. I doubt there's anything that he can do with the heroic intervention. I get theoretically he could play that one sweeper that's in black that exiles everything CMC 3 or less. And I would not be able to do anything about that, but that is not a card that I see played very often. He's just sitting it out. He's allowed to be salty. He got beat by a deck that he thinks shouldn't have beat him. All those answers couldn't get through. See, that's the main problem with a deck like his, where he just doesn't have you still have to maintain a certain threat density. You can't just have nothing but answers in the deck, because you won't win. You gotta have a win condition. That's why my version has the spiders and Polukranos. And, of course, extra card draw. If he had had something else, like, it might have worked better. Like Maze My Tome. That's what his deck sorely needs. And that's why I don't run as much of the hand disruption. I do have a little bit, but not as much as he was running, because I'd rather have more card draw than that. And of course I don't run Necromentia because it's not useful against every deck. And in fact, I would say most of the decks out there, it's not that great right now. There are certain decks that can be weak to it. You know, certain Yorion control builds where they are heavily reliant on resolving a Yorion or a Dance of the Manse. Those could be something like that, where you'd want to actually bring in, you know, the Necromentia. But honestly, it's a sideboard card, and that is not something you play in a best-of-one format. You just don't play sideboard cards in your main deck unless you are specifically weak to a certain matchup. And if he's specifically weak to Yorion or something like that, I would say, I mean, he definitely is, because of the the way he built his deck. But alright, so that was only 7 lands. It looks like this is going to be a little bit of a grind. Let's go ahead and play another game. At least my server issues appear to have somewhat resolved themselves, so it won't be too terrible moving forward. Yeah, going back to my Magic history, I started playing again back in Zendikar block, the first one. Really enjoyed Innistrad block, and that's when I got into playing super competitively as well. I was going to a lot of opens, a lot of well, they're Magic Fests now. They used to be called Grand Prix. Oh, this is not keepable. I don't have any white. Well, I do have the goose. That's so sketch, so questionable. But I would get to play the goose the turn before I would actually resolve the retreat. Okay, I don't really recommend this, but I'm going to go ahead and run it out, because, oh man, I actually have some action this time. Alright, Shambler goes first. Opponent's on red, mono red. They didn't have a 1-drop. Nope, it's, okay. So that's not terrible. I think it means that our, well, okay, that makes that a little less risky. Goose is getting in there. Alright. We'll go ahead and get a damage in. Next turn, I'm definitely going to retreat, and then I get to play a land as well off of it. So, yeah, no complaints there. Oof. He's gonna beat me like a redheaded stepchild this turn, though. That is a lot of damage. Okay. So, the main issue is I can't block him because I don't have any creatures big enough, but I can somewhat fix that. And our land. All right. So now we get to put a +1/+1 counter on everything, which seems a little silly. We're gonna go ahead and attack again, just because the reality is that we are not going to. Well, the vigilance helps, but we are very much not going to be blocking that Migratory Greathorn because of the way he works. Oh god. So he's going to probably double pump again. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Now luckily we do have the Cub Warden if I can get a white source off the top. Actually, let's see. Even that's not good enough just because of the... I'm just going to go ahead and activate the ability now. Get a little bit bigger. At least it wasn't a double pump. That means a lot. Okay, so we got that. We'll put counters out again. And what we're going to do most likely is I want to keep the Heroic Intervention up. And the primary goal here is to either... I got to Stonewall him here, so I don't want to... primarily, I want to keep Heroic Intervention up, and I want to make a food so that I can evolve the Cub Warden. Once I'm gaining life back, this match becomes a lot more winnable. So we're not going to attack. I should have attacked with the Geese. I forgot about the Vigilance. I'm an idiot. You can tell I haven't played this deck much. Okay, so I fucked up. Oh, and I demonetized. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. That is quite a play. So now the real question is, what do I do about that? Ooh, tapping it to play a Maze Mind. He is taking the pressure off me. I don't mind that. That means I get to make 2 food. Liked it, kept it on top. Okay. Okay, Maria's Call. Definitely a land. Question is, am I going to play the Scoot Swarm so that I can evolve the Cub Warden onto it? Do I have enough mana for that? Let's see, that's 5, 6, 7. 3 plus 4. I do, actually. Although I don't get to gain life this turn, which actually is a real problem, if I'm being honest. So here's what we want to do, actually. We're going to go ahead and evolve, and we're going to evolve... Where are we going to evolve? Let's evolve on a flyer. Get that Vigilance going. Alright, we're going to play this tapped, because we obviously cannot pay the life and get away with it at this point. Plus on counters. Loving it. Go into combat. Attack with a 6/8. Get that damage in, gain that life. And keeping up Heroic Intervention, actually, because the Cub Warden is still a goose. Thylath does not fly. Does not fly. So that's the funny thing here, is that he needs to kill me this turn because I have Lethal in the air with a... yeah, if I get a land, I have Lethal in the air, which is great. You've got a huge, huge creature. What are you attacking with? Hellhound. Completely irrelevant at this stage in the game. Yep, you've got a lot of stuff. Alright, so now I get to kill his dude. So we go ahead and block here, and we block here. That's 11 damage. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. We are also going... Oh, wait, can't do it that way. I almost messed up big time. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to kill that guy instead. I guess we can't. This doesn't work out quite right. Really unfortunate, but I'm going to gain a ton of life. So we're going to go ahead and block like that. And then we're going to Heroic Intervention. Inscription of Abundance does it. That's all I needed. Alright, so it's 9, 10, 11. He doesn't have any reach creatures, so we'll just go ahead. And we're just not even going to bother with any of that other rigmarole. Here comes the +1/+1 counters. And that is why Heroic Intervention is in the deck. Gotta protect your resources. Alright, this recording's up over half an hour, but I really don't want to give up on the quest here. We'll go ahead and finish it out. Server time's taking forever. Let's see. So, favorite deck. My favorite deck, historically, has always been Modern Jund. I played it way back in the day. Let's say way back in the day, I'm talking about, like, what would that have been? 2014-ish, something like that. Back when Modern was still relatively young, before it was right about the time Bloodbraid Elf got taken off the ban list, or put on the ban list, I should say. Yeah, that was it was good times. Even without the Bloodbraid Elf, the reality is that the Jund deck was still a force to be reckoned with. It was just a really solid deck. So, alright, if this match doesn't get me like significantly closer, then I will probably switch to a deck that is just chock-a-block full of cards that put cards, lands specifically, in my hand. Basically build a quick blue-green deck for it. Alright, I got everything I want. I guess I'll keep it. Alright. Turn 1 Goose. Yippee-ki-yay. Now the interesting thing about that is I'll have the Inscription of Abundance available as a card. I'm not really sure what they're going to play. Oh, well, they had the answer. And I don't have anything to follow it up with, really, so I guess congratulations, your swamp gets there. I'm guessing he plays an island and then passes the turn, because he's got to be rogues. Oh no, mono black? Radiant Fountain. That's that black colorless deck that's been floating around. Okay, this is a little interesting. So now the Mazemind Tome is absolutely a target that I am going to want to Skyclave, because I don't want him gaining all of that value. So, yeah. He'll get a Scry, but 2 mana for a Scry is not the best. Now the real issue is that I don't really have a great follow-up here. Temple of Plenty hopefully finds me another land, and then I untap and Felidar, but like that's kind of slow. We'll see what my opponent has going on here. 3 mana's out of range for Blood Chief, so looks like he didn't have anything there. I'm going to go ahead and play this land. I could have scooted. I don't want to scoot. Main reason is because I did draw that Cub Warden, and scooting a Cub Warden on a scoot is great. I'm not going to wait till I have 7 mana on that, but I will probably wait until I am actually getting good stuff out of it. So we're going to go ahead and attack in, get my 2 damage. Slow server is slow. Now, interestingly enough, if he's got the enchantment that lets him kill stuff with power 2, I can use Inscription to keep my guy alive. Myriad Construct. Now, that's interesting. So he's got a 4/4 that I can actually kill with my Inscription. But the problem with that... Alright, well, I got a second one, and I don't really want to Felidar when I'm not going to get value out of it. So let's be a little crazy. This is not a good play. I'm just going to lay that out right now. Him having a creature that can block and they bounce, like, that's one thing, but I just made that creature an even bigger target. But the 1/1s there are going to be good, you know, when I use the Inscription to eventually kill his Myriad Construct, if I have to. Like, obviously I don't want to do that. Okay, let's see what he does with that then. Yeah, we're gonna chump on that, because why would we do anything but? Alright, now the interesting thing here, to me, is that he has, as of yet, not killed that Cub Warden. So I'm going to go ahead and go a little wide here. I'm going to leave that guy behind because I want to have him be a chump blocker, and an extra chump blocker doesn't hurt. The life I'm gaining is more important here anyways. Now, the Forsaken Monument means that he could absolutely just Ugin. Yep. And there wasn't really anything we could do about that. The reality is that I had no answer to Ugin. This deck has no answer to Ugin. So the question is, does he -4? He's got a -4 to get rid of everything, and so he's going to -4. That's a -0? That is a weird thing for him to do. Okay, so what? You get to get in for 6. I'm still at 21. But now, obviously, Inscription of Abundance with that Forsaken Monument is the absolute worst thing I could possibly do. I could Cub Warden. Cub Warden the Cub Warden. I think the reality is I need a flyer. And I need a flyer bad. And I need a flyer that has power. So, since he hasn't killed the other one, let's see if he doesn't minus this time, for reals. Like, he's got a -4 here, right? Like, how does he not -4? Why didn't he -4 last time? Does he think he hits his own stuff if he -4s? Yeah, no, that's more what I was expecting. Now, one more land lets me turn on Scoot Mob. Obviously, right now, I mean, this has to happen very quickly if it's going to happen, because this just dies to the other dude. Maybe, okay, this is a little greedy, but here's the plan. I'm expecting him to plus onto the Rootgrazer. I will then Inscription in response and save my Rootgrazer, and then maybe kill his dude. I don't know. Probably not. I'm not worried about what he attacks with. Honestly, I kind of hope he attacks with everything. I hope he does all that, like, well before. And then, of course, with the Murasa, like, if that actually survives, and more importantly, gets to where it can actually not be killed by Ugin easily. Alright, here we go. 2+1/+1 counters. I had something for that, turns out. What you doing? So now he can activate and swing, and he can put me down pretty low. Oh, it turns out he had another answer. Alright. He still has enough to activate and swing, so that's going to be 12, 14. Yeah. He's got me dead. There's no way I win this, but maybe I get to play another land. And that's what's important here. Do I get to play another land? I do. So let's go ahead. We're going to player scoot. We're going to scoot it up. And we're going to eat. Now, sadly, I'm still dead, so I'm not going to get another turn. I'm just going to go ahead and concede. Because all he has to do is blast my creature and attack with both of his attack out, basically. I chump the big one, that's still 8 damage. I'm dead on board. No need to drag it out if you're dead on board. If I'm not dead on board, I always force them to have it. It's just, it actually kind of goes back to when I was learning chess. There was someone I played against, and he used to say, you win 0% of the games you concede. And it's kind of this idea that it's not... Chess is more about sportsmanship and knowing when you're beat to a certain extent, but with Magic, it's definitely not the case. Like, this is a game of very small margins, and so any margin that you can gain by, not giving up, playing to your outs, making sure that you've got, something that you're trying to do. All right, let's switch up the deck here. We're gonna do something a little different. So the main reason I didn't use Temur Ramp here, aside from the fact that it's a fairly common deck that isn't particularly interesting to me, is because the cards that put cards directly on the battlefield don't count for the purposes of the quest. And that's not great. You might notice I have a lot of Sky Noodle decks. It is what it is. He's a fun card. But what I really want to do here is I want to play something that's going to make sure that I get to play all of my lands this time. Creature kill, play slow. It lets me take a little bit of time to win the game. And it's also a deck that I feel very much is in my wheelhouse. This is the closest in Standard I've been able to come to the old Jund. Even to the point where I was trying to force Liliana to work, but she is really hit or miss. It's a lot harder to take advantage of the simultaneous discard in this format compared to, say, Modern. Not to say it's impossible. There's certainly tools, and even in this version of the deck, like, I was running the spider and all that, and trying to make it work. But the reality is that the Planeswalker angle almost never was relevant. Everybody's got answers to Planeswalkers right now because Ugin has to be answered. So that basically means that other Planeswalkers just get answered by, they're a victim of that. So I'm going to keep these 7. This is definitely a good hand for me. I've got the Thirsts, I've got the Arachneer. Tapped White Source. This is, if I had to guess, probably a Winota. Nope, white-green. Then it's probably Felidar Retreat. I think the Shuffler, or not the Shuffler, but the server likes to put you up against something you just played against. I'm going to hold on to Shovel. The main reason I don't want to run him out is just because I don't know what my opponent has. Alright. See, that's not bad. So now I can Shovel, and I can get his Mammoth, and with any luck, I got my White Source. I don't really do anything special with this Fabled Passage, so I'm just going to go ahead and burn it now for a tap land. It's not really a big deal. As you can see, I don't have a lot of basics in the deck anyways, but I am going to grab my second green source so that I can use my Branchloft Pathway for white. Now, I'm not going to attack. The Chainweb Arachneer is there to chump if Kazandu gets to plus, become a 5/5 or a 7/7. Like, I definitely don't want to let him smack me in the face with that. Or he could just Fairy Godmother it, I suppose. The funny thing is that the Arachneer still has reach. I don't know if he realized that. But yeah, I'll definitely make that block. So now the Kazandu Mammoth is going to pick up a counter, and the special thing is when that dies, I gain 3 life and draw a card. And so that is going to die. I'm going to go ahead and play this as a white source. I thought I played it as a white source. Did I hit the wrong button? No. Okay. What a pain. Now, the great Nombo, of course, is that now I can't actually use Heartless Act. So I'm just going to go ahead and Mithros it because of that counter. But that's fine. Just make it dead. Gain 3 life, draw a card, another land. Okay. So White-Green Adventures, I have no idea. White-Green Landfall Adventures? This guy's just throwing everything together. Blossoming Sands, this is somebody's brew. Let's be real. Alright. So now, land, and I get to hit that with the Blood Chief's Thirst, and draw another card. Alright, more removal. That's what the deck's supposed to do. Alright, and so we dump a Mage's Mind Tome, and we'll draw a card off of it on my opponent's end step. This Chevel is definitely earning his Fruit Loops today. 2 cards and 6 life. The Apparition. Okay. Well, I guess that means Chevel's going to bite it, so what we're actually going to do, we're going to draw the card. There's no reason to Heartless Act it now. I guess I could attack with another 2/2, but that doesn't seem like it's all that relevant here. Now, if I could let it sit, and then I could get the Arachnir back next turn, right? Okay. Let's be mana efficient, and we're going to go ahead and kill this guy. Let's see what I get with the Scry. Land, I don't want to draw land. Pretty sure I finished my quest. Alright. So, let's see what my opponent's running. Let's take his biggest threat. What is his biggest threat? Well, I definitely don't want to deal with that Questing Beast. The Skyclave is gonna take something. I really don't want it to take the Chainweb Arachnir either. That's kind of painful. Great Henge, he's not anywhere near playing it, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the Beast. And I'm gonna go ahead and attack, and I'm gonna get my draw on, because he's very likely going to, you know, without seeing anything else, he's probably going to try to, yeah, Apparition my Maze Mind Tome. So I want to get the card out of that for sure. Alright. We're going to feed here. I'm way ahead on life, and an extra dude is not a problem here. That seems great to me. And I wanted to make sure I did that. I wanted to make sure I did that while he didn't have White Source, because I know he's got the thing there. So, alright, we're going to just go ahead and grab some random stuff and get back a 4/5. I could have left up Murderous Rider. With what I can see in his hand, I don't think that's going to need to be there. The Chainweb actually answers most of the stuff that he would play. Yeah, that's fine. Like, again, like the 1/2 doesn't even stop the 2/2s that are currently on the board. It's not a big deal. And I'll be able to get that back in no time. Let's see. I can't... Alright, we're just going to feed the 1/2. I've got removal for days. I can keep up the Murderous Rider. Mostly I just want to keep his board clear so that I can keep pounding away with these 2/2s. Yep, that is a Shepherd. That's another Shepherd. So we're going to go ahead and kill one of them. And for the first time, I dip below my starting health. Alright, play a land. I don't want to draw more lands. Now this is a real question as to whether or not I want to kill his potential blocker. or just play a 2-3 after he does block. I think here I don't mind upgrading a 2-2, because he does have creatures in his deck that I would have a much harder time answering if I don't have a Murderous Rider. So if he wants to block, I'm happy to make that trade. Nope, he's going to take it on the chin. Alright, I'm not going to bother leaving up Murderous Rider for the removal. I'm going to go ahead and play the other one, though. This lets me have more threats for next turn. And I still have Murderous Rider to get rid of anything that is truly problematic, like a Scavenging Ooze. And really, that's only problematic because, well, A, he got rid of my Spider, but there's like 3 more in the deck, plus some Pelugrinoses. But more importantly, he's gaining life off of it, and I don't want him gaining life. Life gaining is the worst. Not to mention it's, you know, bigger than I can get through now. So we're going to go ahead and off his Scavenging Ooze. And I do not want to lose any more of my creatures, because this makes him have to have some very specific answers. Shepherd of the Flock gets Heartless acted. Alright. And we beat. Now, any one of my creatures is lethal. Yep, that was all it took. Win rate down 10%. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, and I believe if the server ever catches up, that will be enough to finish off my quest. Even though I threw a bunch of lands to the bottom. If it's a 20, like, you know, 1 short, I'm gonna be so peeved. I'm gonna get kicked out of this thing, aren't I? This is like crash levels of slow. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure I finished it up, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you for joining me tonight. Sorry that went so long. Oh, wait. Wait. Turns out. Oh, hey, we're back to waiting for the server, but there's music this time. Alright. Quest completed. Not going to waste any more of your time. Thank you for showing up here and watching my video. Have a nice day. Or night. Whatever.